I want to thank everybody for coming here, and I want to thank Shafia for getting me up here, actually, because she's the one who spoke to me about making this presentation. We're going to have to go back a number of years. In fact, I would say 41, to tell you the truth, which means that some of y'all were probably not even here on the earth when all of these things were happening in Charlotte. I'm going to speak to you about actually two struggles that took place. Okay, can you hear? Can you hear a little bit better?
All right.
Okay. I thought my mouth is pretty big. So I figured, I didn't really need a microphone. But at any rate, I'm going to speak to you about two struggles that took place here in North Carolina. One that happened in Charlotte in 1970, and the second one that happened in Wilmington in 1971. It involved a total of 13 people. The Charlotte Three, which I am a member of, involved 3 activists who were active in working in the low-income areas of Charlotte, doing anti-war organizing. And one of the things, of course, that we did, and this was, again, during a time that the Vietnam War was hot and heavy. And they were, buses were coming in every day to the draft center, which is located in Charlotte. And these buses were coming from all over the western part of the state of North Carolina, going all the way from Asheville, Morganton, Boone, a number of places. And they were bringing people in to be examined to see if they were ready to go to the war in Vietnam. And what we would do, and we, when I say we, I'm talking about the 3 of us, Charles Parker, T.J. Reddy, and myself, along with some activists from the American Friends Services Committee. We would be there to meet those buses when they came to the draft center. And we would pass out information as the boys left the buses and went inside. We would pass them information about what they needed to do if, in fact, they wanted not to go to Vietnam. And of course, the folks there at the draft center were very upset, and they called the police. And of course, the way we would work it out was we would time it in such a way that we would get done what we needed to. We would pass our information out, and then we would head up, and we would time it in such a way that the police were coming in and we were going out. So they never actually really were able to nail us in doing that. In addition to trying to reach out to the actual people who were being drafted, and as I say, it's a different period of time, and some of you may have difficulty understanding, but in those days, all males had to register for the draft and you were also subject to being called to be examined. And of course, the next step from there was a trip to the nearest a place where you were subject to being taken away and sent to Vietnam. And of course, some of you who are older know exactly what I'm talking about. But at any rate, what was happening as well, there was a program that was put in place by the Defense Department, which was aimed at the black community. And this program was aimed at getting people to register and also to sign up for the war, to actually sign up, and these programs were held at the local community centers, and there was one center in which they were actually really focusing heavy on, was a center in Earl Village, which was a housing project, a low-income housing project in Charlotte. And of course, we were there as well. They set up a recruiter, and the recruiter was there all day long, and we were there also all day long, because when the recruiter would put out his information, we would also pass out our information, and that way, the guys would have a choice. They could go along with what we had to say, or they could go along with the recruiter. I mean, this is a free country. This is the way we looked at it. But what happened was that again, the police would call. They didn't like us being there with our information. And of course, we were successful in getting our information out, and the people there in the project showed their disdain for the recruiter, because they vandalized the community center and showed that they were not happy with having the recruiter there. And of course, as a result of that, they ended up arresting us, and we ended up being framed up on a charge which had nothing to do with what we were doing there, and ended up having to go to prison for a number of years. Now that, of course, what we want to show is that there was a well, I'm running out of time. It's a long story, and it's just not possible to get it all out. But what I wanted to say is that as a result of the fight back around our case, around the Charlotte 3 case, and the Wilmington 10 case as well, we were able to take North Carolina to the international level, and as it ended up, and this was because of several organizations that took our case on, and the Wilmington 10 case as well, the National Alliance Against Racist and Political Repression was the main organization that did that, and of course Amnesty International came in afterwards and got involved, and we ended up being political prisoners, and of course that was something that ended up resulting in our release in 1976. I guess what I'm saying is that you have to fight, and that's what has to take place, and we need to do this now as well, especially with the situation that we're having now with the Tea Party and all these other folks. So I'm just going to cut it short.